us who you are.
My name is Brunish. I'm an actor.
And what were your impressions of the script?
Well, I thought it was a good script. I thought it was an important script. After all, we all have questions and decisions and momentous turns in the road in our lives, and I think that's part of why art is important to us, whether it be opera or theater or music or dance. It helps us to understand our place in the world, and it helps us, guides us, make decisions. So, not to make too big of a deal out of it, but yeah, I think that's why we enjoy movies and television and records, and it sort of defines us as we go through life.
What kind of prep work did you do as an actor?
Well, now that's an interesting question, because if I'm going to use a dialect, or if I'm going to play a surgeon or something that I'm not familiar with, I'll do a lot of prep work, or playing a musical instrument or something like that. In this particular case, my job was to ask a girl out, and I'd had quite a bit of experience doing that, so I just I went on instinct with this one. In fact, the other form of prep that can be done in a situation like this would be to get to know the actor you're working with. But because it was a new relationship, which was, developing on screen, that was also not the proper course of preparation. And so any rapport that you see on screen is just what it is, happening before your eyes, as if by magic.
Do you have any production stories to share?
Yeah, we had an interesting shoot, actually. We sort of knocked out my scenes in a day, but we had some audio difficulties with the final scene, and we actually shot at 3 different locations on the same day. None of them proved to be satisfactory. And so I left town. I went back east to do a show, and so it was nearly a year later, upon my return, that we attempted to reshoot this scene. And what happened then was we set the day, and we all gathered downtown right adjacent to the Saturday Market area, and the clouds opened up, and it started to rain like nobody's business. And of course, the audio problems from last time were associated with the fact that we were shooting outdoors, and so I thought, well, definitely they're going to shoot it indoors this time. No, we were going to shoot it outdoors, and so it was raining like, as hard as I've ever seen it rain in Portland, and I've been here 30 years now. And so we're sort of standing around with our thumbs in our ears and sort of thinking, well, I guess this scene just isn't meant to be in the movie. And all of a sudden it stopped. It stopped, and the sun shone, and these beautiful pink cherry blossoms, and Galvin set up this great shot. So we're out in the public, and we're shooting this walk and talk, call it in the biz. And so we're all mic'd up, and we're walking toward the camera, and with this little scene that we, still remembered from a year previous. And we had great extras. I think we did about 5 takes or whatever, and we had every extra you can imagine that would be on a waterfront in Portland, Oregon. We had the joggers and the inline skaters, we had the bicyclists, and we had the parents with baby carriages and baby strollers, and we even had gawkers taking pictures of the cherry blossoms. So the take you see, I don't know which one it is, but it's one of many magical magical takes. It being a year later, I had actually dyed my hair for this show that I was doing back east, and I had to regrow my goatee and find all the clothes that I had worn that day, and hope they still fit and things like that. And so if you look very closely, I think you'll see a little bit different in my hair color in that scene. And then the other thing that happened with the reshoot was that they added a scene to sort of give a more upbeat ending to the movie, and so we shot that on the same day up in Vancouver before it started raining in Portland. And it's shot in my Prius, and that Prius had just driven 9,500 miles across the nation and back, with a few side trips, obviously. And I did the whole thing on 1 tank of gas. about 10.
And what would you say your character's function is in the story?
My character's function in this movie is to be a sounding board for the lead and to help her figure out her journey and to be there for her. And so it's, I would say, sounding board. That was my job. Not to say that I was cardboard. Anyway, it's a great film, and I sure hope that people get to see it.